Dagon 30 here, and playing the new Ark Raiders game, and I wanted to mess around with the graphics and see if I can get FPS as high as possible on it without running frame gen. So let's get started with the settings. Hopefully no one kills me during this process. Alright, as you see, NVIDIA DLSS frame generation is turned on, so let's go ahead and get this turned off. Reason being, because this is kind of a PvP game, and a lot of people want to run as high FPS as they possibly can. So let's try to do that with these graphic settings. It's very similar to Cyberpunk, and it's not bad. So I am using a 5090 video card, but this will work with any NVIDIA card and probably most AMD cards. So right here, the resolution scaling method, it's set for DLSS. NVIDIA DLSS quality is set for DLAA. It's the highest quality, but doesn't do any upscaling. The internal rendering resolution decreases. So DLSS Super Resolution boosts frame rates by rendering fewer pixels and using AI to output high resolution frames. So let's go ahead and leave it at DLA for right now. But if I do change it to DLSS, oh, I see. It just changes a few things. So we'll leave it on DLA. Because a lot of people don't like using frame generation and AI frames. They want to go for pure performance FPS. So Transformer. Transformer is the new model introduced in DLSS 4. It's even higher quality but more GPU intensive. Like I said before, I have a 5090, so it's not that big of a problem for me on that end. But if you have like a 5070, even a 5060, 5070 Ti, hopefully this will help too. So the next setting is motion blur. We can go ahead and just turn that off and see if that helps out. And I'm running about 98 FPS already. So if I go out of the screen here, do a little run around, stays about that, which ain't bad. Let's go back in the settings. Okay, NVIDIA RTX Global Illumination is set for Epic. So this is kind of like a catch-all for some things. So I'll just leave it at that for right now. Does it really change anything if I put it on, say, low? Maybe a little bit, but not too much. We'll do medium. Let's go to medium. Okay, see, I think I'm consistently getting 100 frames now. So here's the overall quality level. So I can change this, and it should change all the settings at once. There we go. See, just by setting it to low, I already raised it to 152 FPS. If I get out of this, run around, graphics still look pretty good even on low quality, and the FPS did go up by over 50 frames, 54 frames. But I like things to look pretty and run smooth with as high FPS as possible. So let's put things back to Epic and let's go back from there. You see how it jumped back down to 100 FPS, which for most games that's not bad. But if you wanted to be a little more competitive, let's see what we can do. View distance, let's go ahead and knock that down to high. Anti-aliasing, let's do that medium. Shadows, not a big fan of shadows, so we'll do low. Post-processing. Okay, this helps with motion blur, bloom, and lens flares. Let's go ahead and let's put that to medium. Textures, I don't have to look super pretty. Effects. Control quality of effects like particles, subsurface scattering of sky atmosphere. Has a moderate impact on GPU. Let's keep that on high. Reflections. Let's put that on high. Foliage, how good do you want the leaves and bushes to look? Let's put that on high. Global illumination resolution. Controls the screen space resolution to which the global illumination is applied to the scene. Has a moderate impact on your GPU. Let's just put that on high. Pretty much we're not going to leave anything on epic. So out of that, adjustments so far, about 128 on average FPS, which is really good. Not bad at all. You can definitely run some games on that. But if we go back to the control graphics, let's put the view distance down to medium. And reflections down to medium, foliage down to medium, and global illumination down that way to medium. And by doing that, looks like I'm getting on average, I only jumped up a few frames, 3 or 4. And the graphics still look pretty good. Now, if you want the possible highest frames without frame gen and all that, let's just go ahead and knock everything back down to low again and see what it was at. I believe it was... Game's stuttering a little bit as I'm changing the graphic settings. There we go. Everything's set to low. And there we go, about 153 FPS. This is a pretty intense graphical game here, and I like it a lot, actually. Now, let's see if it goes up more, because when you're inside spaces like this, the FPS tends to go down a little bit, but it also depends on the game. So let's see if I run outside, and hopefully no one kills me, maybe a robot. Let me sneak out. We got some rain out here. Now we're in the open world. Okay, so it actually went down a little bit, probably because it needed to render more. But even at all low settings, this game is absolutely gorgeous. But if I were to put the graphics back on, let's just say medium. Let's put a little bit of better spot on. Let's see what the difference is. Okay. Not much change, to be honest with you, from the previous settings I had it set at. Because I'm also outside, so it kind of renders a little differently from inside corridors and stuff. But let's go ahead and put everything back on Epic. There we go. And right back to right around 90 to 94 frames. Actually, it's going down a little more. It's in like the mid 80s to mid to high 90s. And of course, the game looks gorgeous. Even more. And if you want to run frame generation to see how it looks, let's go ahead and turn it on. Now there's an auto setting on this, and I'm not too sure how well that works, but we can always just go with the standard ×4. It's already got the NVIDIA reflex low latency on, so it won't be that bad. And the frames at 260 to right around 260 on average. And the game looks really good. And that's it. That's the graphical settings for this game. And you can actually do a lot with them, and just adjust them to the way you like. Because, like I said, I like my stuff to look a little prettier. And if you're highly competitive and you want to push more FPS, that's not with FrameGen, then yeah, go ahead and knock everything down as low as possible, and maybe throw in a little bit higher settings on things you want to look prettier or what works best for you. But that's it. So if you like my content, like and subscribe, and leave some comments below. I want to know what y'all think, and if you want to give me some tips and tricks and advice. And that's about it. Alright, guys. Talk to you later.